Let's talk about some controversy, shall we? What is up? What is up? Let's get right into it. So, let's talk about Reddit YouTubers for just a little bit of time. Mostly because I've been having a issue with a lot of them recently. Now, when I say a lot of them, I don't necessarily mean all of them. I mean a select group.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
I've quite a few of them, actually, in all honesty. So basically, I'm just going to divide them into essentially what is 3 categories. I'm going to divide them into the OGs, the ones who kind of started the trend, and then we're going to go into the copycats. Name implies they copied off of the OGs. And then we're going to discuss the darker side of Reddit YouTubers. And by the darker side, I mean the side that I don't like, pretty much. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start things off, we're going to go ahead and describe what a Reddit YouTuber is for those of you that have been living under a rock or in a cave for the last, give or take, I want to say 4 years, 5 years, somewhere around there. Essentially, a Reddit YouTuber is a YouTuber who will sit down in a chair that I imagine is, much like this one, and they will sit there and they will find certain stories on Reddit that they want to go ahead and read, usually from Rslash, Pro Revenge, Nuclear Revenge, stuff like that. Very popular subreddits. They will find stories that they think are interesting, that they think are controversial, that they think will draw the most attention, and then they will sit down and read them for an indeterminate amount of time. It kind of just depends on the specific YouTuber themselves. Some of them put a lot more effort into their content, some of them put no effort at all, and we'll go ahead and get into that here in a minute. But that's essentially what a Reddit YouTuber is. They started recently taking off. I mostly blame the pandemic. I blame that mostly because people are sitting at home, bored as hell, not able to do much with their time. And I mean, for crying out loud, I'm a gamer. As you can clearly see, I'm a gamer. Trust me, it gets boring after a while. The Reddit YouTubing thing kind of took off, I feel like, a lot from boredom. Now, that said, I don't have a problem with the concept of it, mostly because I would be a hypocrite for saying, hey, I hate Reddit YouTubers in general, because I listen to Reddit YouTubers. I find some of them more entertaining than others, and then some of them I find just absolutely deplorable. If I were to say that I hated Reddit YouTubers, that would essentially be me saying, oh hey, I hate listening to audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I absolutely love audiobooks. I love podcasts. I love that kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the Reddit YouTubers themselves, or as like a genre, as a subgenre of specific types of YouTubers, the types you read, stuff like that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that genre as a whole. I have a problem with an unfortunate majority, from what I found during my research into the channels that I will be mentioning throughout the rest of the video. It's mostly to do with the fact that the content itself does not necessarily come from the YouTuber, and so they have to add in a certain part of themselves in order to be able to make the content interesting. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into that right now. And we're going to start off with the originals, the OGs, the people who kind of started the trend, kind of got that snowball going, and it has now gone into a full-blown avalanche. So in my research, I was able to find 5 of the original YouTubers who kind of got that ball going, and I only really knew about 3 of them, mostly because, well, technically 4, mostly because like when I first started listening to Reddit YouTubers is when it kind of started going. The first one, and quite possibly the most popular one that I found, because he has over 1 million subscribers, is Rslash. He's kind of the base level, like your baseline, kind of, for Reddit YouTubers in general, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, his content I find to be entertaining, mostly because of the inflections that he puts into it, the voices he makes for all the different characters, for entitled Karens, for entitled parents, for entitled brats, stuff like that. I find the voices he puts on and the inflection he puts on kind of make things pretty interesting when it comes to his content, and that's what really puts his content out there and actually makes it kind of popular, I think, is because it is very it's like the baseline when it comes to content. It's not basic. He has basically mastered the essential formula that comes from being a Reddit YouTuber. He has the stories that are interesting, he has a personality that's interesting, he has a dog, which is absolutely the most adorable dog I've ever seen, next to the brat that's up there on the stairs crying at the door. Next, we're going to go ahead and get into fake Jake / Comment Chameleon. I kind of correlate these two together because for a while, I think his name is Rob. I haven't watched Comment Chameleon in a while. He kind of stepped back and started focusing on a second channel, which I love his second channel. It's stuff that he wants to do that he's not really wanting to put on Comment Chameleon, mostly because he's wanting to stick to the Reddit YouTubing and the story reading on his main Comment Chameleon channel. I like watching their videos mostly because of the fact that they put out longer content. So with Rslash, for instance, he kind of sticks it around the 10 to 15 minute mark, reads a lot of the shorter stories. He has some longer videos out there, but Comment Chameleon, I've watched videos before where it's like 30 minutes long. And he'll have long stories on there, and he won't really abridge them as much as YouTubers like Rslash and others would. They kind of skip over a lot of the context and the detailing that goes into a lot of the stories. And that's why I like his videos in relation to Rslash. Rslash videos are very good. They're solid. There's nothing really wrong with them, mostly because it follows a very set formula and it works. Comment Chameleon, they stick with longer videos and that works for them. He's able to put out that kind of content because he finds it very fitting, he finds it very rewarding, and I agree with that. I like listening to longer videos, especially when I'm doing schoolwork, when I'm playing video games, when I'm cleaning around down here. So his videos I find are very good because he does a lot of the longer videos and a lot of the longer stories, and he goes into more detail for people who aren't following along on Reddit or something like that, or people who haven't read any of the Reddits or anything like that. And so it's very appeasing to somebody like me who can't just sit at a computer or who's driving and listening. It's much like an audiobook in that case. And then we're going to go ahead and get into Darkfluff now. Now, Darkfluff's videos are different only for one real reason, and that's the fact that he swears. A lot of these Reddit stories that exist on the internet and the internet in general are very vulgar. And the problem with YouTube is, for some reason, even though YouTube Kids is a thing, they decide to demonetize people who decide to, I don't know, swear in their videos, which is stupid to me, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. You can't really do nothing about that because parents just don't like using YouTube Kids for whatever reason. And honestly, having seen some of the videos that are on there, I don't necessarily blame them. Anyway, yeah, Darkfluff, he actually swears in his videos as opposed to Rslash and KCC, because, you know, they want ads on their videos, and a lot of them have kind of gotten around with some of the more vulgar content with having sponsors like Raycon, Raid Shadow Legend, people like that. And his videos are very funny, very fun, very lighthearted. He doesn't really take himself as seriously as a lot of them other ones tend to do. And then we've got Fresh, who I kind of watched a bit towards the beginning of Reddit YouTubing, like before, like when it was starting to take off. I remember a lot of his videos only because of the vaporwave he'd have going in the background, and his outros were very vaporwave-esque, and I don't much like that aesthetic, but I can understand why certain people do like that aesthetic. And it mainly stems from the fact that it's like very retro, very old school. Not my cup of tea, but it was good quality content for the time. My only complaint with him was that his voice is kind of monotone from what I can remember, but his content was enjoyable, and that was back before Rslash, Darkfluff, and KCC kind of took over and started doing a lot of this stuff. His videos kind of started it off for me, started me on the path towards Reddit YouTubers and stuff like that, but I don't really remember much of his videos. I do remember it was good content though. And then last we have MK. I never really watched any of his videos, but from the couple of videos I did see during my research, he tends to go into more of the meme-centric Reddits. Like, he does a lot of more image Redditing than he does a lot of the story Redditing. He still does some of the story Redditing just because that's the tried and true formula. But he kind of is more on the image side, the meme side, the videos side, that kind of thing. Never really watched his content. I've seen like one or two of his videos, and then I did a couple of videos while I was, you know, doing my research. This is ridiculous. Now, a big trend that I did notice at first was that most of these other YouTubers kind of were a bit towards the, like, they were more centered on mid 2018 if you averaged all 5 of those out together. I'm sure that I'm missing a couple of the original Reddit YouTubers, and if I am, just let me know, because I hate having my research wrong, but I was sat here for like an hour trying to figure out, hey, who are the original ones? I click on their channel, go to their about page, and I just wrote down basically exactly what time frame-ish they started off doing Reddit YouTubing, or started off doing YouTubing in general. So when it came to Comment Chameleon, he was actually the first to show up on the scene. He started off his channel back in early 2017, which I believe may have been when the Reddit YouTubing thing kind of started. I'm not saying that a lot of these people were like copycatting off of KCC. I'm just saying they may have all had the same idea, but for time constraint reasons, for personal reasons, anything else like that, they may have started a little bit later in the game. And funny enough, Rslash was actually the latest into the game, and yet he is also the most popular when it comes to Reddit YouTubers. Darkfluff started in late 2018. Fake Jake took over for Comment Chameleon about late 2019, early 2018, somewhere around there. And ever since then, he kind of split off and made his own channel. Darkfluff started off in late 2018. I believe it was November, somewhere around there. And then MK started early 2019 like Rslash did. Oh, and Fresh started in 2018. Forgot to mention that. It was all more focused on 2018-ish. I only say that because you take that average of 2017 to 2019, you average it out, it basically comes down to 2018, mid 2018 was that beginning of the Reddit YouTuber surge. And it basically all just took off from there. Rslash skyrocketed. I was watching him back when he had tens of thousands of subscribers, and now he's up past, I think, 1 million. He may be up even more. Hold on one second, let me check that. Oh, there goes my desk drawer. Anyway, yeah, no, so he's at 1.8 million subs as of right now. 1.89 specifically million subscribers right now. And so it kind of really took off early 2019 when a lot of these channels, a lot of these younger channels, should I say, started kind of to come around, started to gain popularity, and people who liked Reddit and liked audiobooks kind of found that niche, those YouTubers they wanted to watch, and it all started from there. Now that I'm done talking about the OGs and their originality and how Reddit YouTubing basically got started, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a lot of the copycats. I'm not necessarily going to name any of them, simply because of the fact that that's the whole point of their channels. It's to write off the fame of these other Reddit YouTubers who started the path going and decided, oh hey, I want a piece of that action, you know, like all of us did in middle school, including me. I'm leaving those cringy videos up, by the way, mostly because it'll serve as a lesson to me and as a lesson to others to always strive to try to make better content. Isn't that right? She's staring at me off camera. What? What? What do you want? What do you want? I'm making a video. But essentially, the best way to tell a copycat Reddit YouTuber, and especially now that Reddit YouTubing has become a bit more of a solid thing that's a lot harder to get in on, is to find a channel that has changed their name, or a channel that has like a couple Reddit YouTube videos, and then it's back to occasionally posting a video here or there. Another good way to tell is their videos, they're quite monotone when it comes to them reading. They don't try to put any character into it, they don't try to put any feeling really into it. There was one YouTuber I watched that I can't remember the name anymore of, because his content was just so boring that when I tried to find it, I couldn't. So I don't know if the channel was deleted or something, or if they decided to just cancel the YouTube channel. It's horrible. It basically sits there and tries to ride off of the fame that Reddit YouTubing got in and of itself, and in order to gain that popularity, they go like, oh hey, they load from Rslash Nuclear Revenge. Why don't I just read the same story and put that into my tags? Oh hey, Rslash Comment Chameleon fresh, etc., etc. I'm harping on. I'm basically saying that these people only existed to try to benefit off of the fame that the OG Reddit YouTubers got. And so, much like the mid-2010s gaming channels tried to get some money and fame and popularity off of it, they have essentially become that genre again. That same type deal where you look at them and you're like, your content isn't interesting, your character that you try to put on isn't interesting. You're essentially just copying off of these people who put on hard work and hard effort and actually try on these videos to make them interesting, to make people engaged, to make people keep going and keep watching their videos and their content. And yet that is still the most deplorable, or in my opinion, deplorable Reddit YouTuber that's out there. I haven't gotten onto the Reddit bots. So right here, you can clearly see my computer screen. I have two tabs open. One was the background that was on this video. The other one is merely a YouTube search. So if I go into YouTube, type in Reddit, and then hit filter, and then channel, it begins. This is the state that Reddit YouTube is in, ladies and gents. Basically all of these, except for like 2 or 3 of them, I think these 2 mainly, and this one, but are all done by robots. So basically what somebody will do is they will go into Reddit, go into r/askreddit, and have a robot read it out to them. Oh, and fresh. Look, there it is. And the biggest offender that I have found when you go into Reddit and when you go into regular YouTube and type in Reddit, Reddit jar, Reddit jar, Reddit jar, Reddit jar, Reddit jar, internet is fun, Reddit jar, Reddit recap, best posted comments, upvote Reddit, best posted comments, internet is fun. But you get what I mean. The top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those ones were Reddit jar. And even then, down here, people also watched internet is fun, and then the next 2 are Reddit jar. Like, the biggest offender on this, it looks like, is Reddit jar. And when you go in and you look at when it started, oh hey, you remember when Rslash started? He started early January of 2019. This channel started 2 months after that, March of 2019. For the YouTube monetization team, we post a wide range of topics that are funny, informative, entertaining, or interesting. Are you kidding me? Really? We're gonna go into that. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the next one. The next biggest offender it looked like was internet is fun, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. Let's go into internet is fun. About page. Oh look, September 9th, 2019. Who was the next offender on that again? I think one of them, best post and comments. February 21st, 2019. Do you get the pattern? Do you see the pattern I'm trying to point out here? Rslash started at the very beginning of 2019, when Reddit YouTubers first started kind of gaining that popularity. After Rslash started making content, and he was the newest kid on the block, from what I remember at least, because I've basically gone off script at this point. He was the new kid on the block, and now he has the most subscribers, because he was early in on that wave, when Reddit YouTubing first took off. Once again, I want to point out, I have nothing against Reddit YouTubing in general, as a term, because if I did, it'd be like saying, hey, I don't like audiobooks. I hate the fact that the Reddit botters specifically decided to take something that was tried and true and worked from people who decided to actually put content out, from people who decided to put effort into said content. Instead, they decided to be lazy about it. Instead of using their own voice, they basically just went to Google and typed in, hey, script reader, robotic script reader. And it's the same voice in every single one of these Reddit YouTube botter things. Every single time. That's what I have a problem with. The content itself off of Reddit is very plain, very simple, and it's there already. That's my slight issue with Reddit YouTubers, is that they're basically reading somebody else's content, but they put their own twist on it, at least. Hell, even the copycat Reddit YouTubers, they at least tried to put some of their twist into it. They tried to focus on one subject. They tried to make it their own. They tried to incorporate jokes, trying to kind of compensate for their lack of originality. Original Reddit YouTubers, they started it off. They had personality, they had voices, they had something brand new and fresh and different from each other. And then the copycatters at least tried to copy and add their own twist from the originals into it. The Reddit botters that I just showed you, it is the cheapest. Hold on, I have to full screen this. It's gonna bother me if I don't. Reddit botting is the cheapest and stupidest way to make content, and it is the laziest type of content out there. And that's where the controversy that I'm talking about comes from. Because I know for a fact that if Reddit YouTubers see this, they might think I'm trying to rag on Reddit YouTubing in general. I'm not. I'm ragging on the people who decide to make the laziest content. The Reddit bots. The ones that will take a script. They will basically, all they have to do is hit 5 buttons at least. Mouse button to drag and copy. Control C to control copy. Click onto a new tab, control paste, and then hit transcribe. Now, of course, I'm just making a generalization. I'm not saying, hey, that's what all of them do. But if all you have to do is copy and paste and then hit a transcribe button, that's lazy content right there. That's content that you're not putting heart and soul into, and that's what I have a problem with. I don't listen to any of these Reddit botters. The only reason it pops up on my home screen is because I listen to other Reddit YouTubers. I listen to Rslash, I listen to Comment Chameleon, I listen to Darkfluff. The only reason that the Reddit botters pop up is because I listen to those. And of course, because r/ask Reddit is essentially a free game because none of the other originals or even the copycats do Ask Reddit. They just decide, hey, we'll go into the comments of an Ask Reddit and we'll say, oh hey, why not transcribe this since it's fair game? And unfortunately it works. I really wish I could say it doesn't work, but it does. And that's the part that pisses me off. When you see content like this getting millions of views, but then you look at the channels themselves only getting a couple thousand subscribers here or there, or a couple thousand subscribers here or there, that's when you know you have a problem with the content. The channels are as disinteresting as you can possibly find. But unfortunately, because of the fact that it's a Reddit YouTube video, and it is on something that Reddit YouTubers themselves who put time and effort into their content avoid merely because of the fact that a lot of the content on Ask Reddit, let's be honest here, is not safe for work. They tend to avoid it for lack of demonetization, or for fear of demonetization rather, my apologies. That's what I have a problem with. These YouTube, Reddit, bot, whatever you want to call them, the Reddit readers that are basically just a text-to-speech, are cheapening the actual work that actual human beings will try and make effort to put their videos out there and to make their videos noticed. It's cheapening their work. And I guarantee you that most of the Reddit YouTubers I have mentioned by name specifically would agree with me on that. Simply because of the fact that it's their content that's under attack by these people who are cheapening it. By these people who are basically taking it, putting it into a text-to-speech, and then running it. They will record the text-to-speech, reading it, kind of do a little bit of editing, and boom, free content essentially, provided by the internet, and left out there to cheapen and besmirch the actual Reddit YouTubers that will actually try to put out content like that. And it doesn't necessarily piss me off, because there's people out there who will put out lazier content, and trust me, I'm no exception. This is my first video in, yikes. Anyway, yeah. I didn't want my first video, in a good while, that I've actually put time and effort into making, to be on something that could be deemed as controversial as this is. But it was the first thing that really came to mind, and I've been having a problem with it for the last couple months and didn't really know how to put it into words. But now that I've actually gone in, done some of the research, and even showed you examples, I feel like a lot of people will probably agree with me on this when I say that the Reddit botters, the people who are doing this cheap content, are really a plague on YouTube, and they're a lot of the reason why some of the Reddit YouTubers may start losing their want to put out the content that they do. And it's sad, because it's something that could easily be prevented if we just all stopped watching the Reddit botters. Like, I used to watch the Reddit botters. I don't anymore because of the fact that I feel like it's cheapening the work of these actual YouTubers that go in and they put in actual content out. And it is sad, but let it be a lesson to all to not put out lazy content, to actually try to work and put out content that you can be proud of later on. And that includes me. I'm well aware that my content in the past was very lazy. And I'm gonna try to start working on that with as much time as I can put into it. Because right now I'm going through school, I'm a full-time employee, I'm trying to get this promotion that is apparently gonna be opening up once they find somebody who could replace me at my current position. And then on top of that, I'm engaged now. So that really does take some time to actually record, just be able to sit down, have time to record, sit down, have time to edit, sit down and have time to upload my content. So I do apologize for my cheap content way back in the day. I am seriously working on trying to improve my content. It's just my schedule is kind of whacked. Yeah.
I just finished editing and realized I forgot to film an outro. So if you enjoyed this content, please let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then go ahead and feel free to dislike it. I'm out. NZNF signing out.